fault a rash. So Stephen's video is going to be about fitting this reconditioned radiator for the gold belly. So I got a new core in it. I probably could do with a bit of painting actually, the more I think of it now, but that's something I can do on the tractor. I want to make sure it's not leaking first, and we can touch up all of this. And I have to fit the cowl on as well. I did mean to say to him that I prefer these in a different colour than black, but that doesn't matter, we can always paint that. Again, the most important thing is she's not leaking. That's what I'm most concerned about. So I presume it goes down here. Yeah, so we'll take out a few screws here on the side. One, two, missing a screw there. I was right, two that side. There's one missing there, so we'll have to get a self-tapper for that. So yeah, we'll go through the motions there anyway, and see about getting some of these screws out and fitting the ones that are missing. So there's one missing there. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 2 on that side. The overflow pipe that clips on there didn't make it back to me either because a friend picked it up. So I might, next time I'm in, I might ask for that. What can you do? It's a nice little bracket there. I do like to have it because when you fill these for the first time, full of air, and it does overflow everywhere, and then you don't know if your radiator is leaking or not. Like, so I will try and get that the next time I'm in. Right, so we'll fit one side here first. Fit this side here. See how that hole goes. Right inside. Get the holes lined up. I think that's the way it's meant to be there. Yeah. I think so. Oh yeah. So yeah, we'll just throw in a few of these screws, self-tappers, and what we'll do is we'll have a look for any ones that are missing there. We'll throw them in, throw in fresh ones, new ones. Okay, so that's one loose in there. Okay. A bit of pressure needed to get this one to line up. Right, we'll go around the other side so and see if we can, might have to give that a bit of a tap with a hammer maybe. How are things lining up here? They're not really lining up, so that's a good one. Nothing lining up there. A good bit off. Definitely. Let's go down that way there. We're a good bit off. So I don't know. Was it the bit that fitted is sticking down a bit, and it's, yeah, it's that usually fitted in under there. We have to drill new holes. It's a bit of a nuisance when you pay to get one job done and it ends up, get the past camera, creating other jobs. I'm just going to give the top of this a little tap and see if we can straighten it out a bit. So this is the bit here in question. Yeah, I don't know, lads. I don't know if that's going to want to be straightened or bent. No, it's nice and strong. I want to keep it that way. And I don't really want to go drilling a whole lot of extra holes. So that's a bit of a nuisance. So look, this is just a bit lower here. It is, yeah. It's a decent bit lower. See it there. It's right. What do you say? What can you do? I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why you didn't fit it. We've one lining up there, and at a push we'd probably get that one in. But the top one I wouldn't say is going to go. Right. So looking at it there, it seems to be mostly around here that we're getting the issue. A little bit of a bend. Now mind you, it's good and strong. It doesn't really want to bloody bend. Hard to know how to hold it really, because I don't want to go bending anything else. Jesus, it's a good one. It's going to take a fair amount of pushing to get that to line up. So all we can do, I suppose, is put in one there that will go in, and if I really have to, I can drill new holes. These are only self-tappers anyway, but it's just, you know, I do want to keep it as original as possible. Don't want to be going drilling extra holes in the bloody thing. That's definitely a mile off, like the hole is there, right at the end. There's no way I'm going to get that to fit. And that should be up under there. And this should be in behind there. Okay, yeah, I think we're going to have to do a bit of, didn't think I was going to have to do this now. There's going to be a bit of mess involved here, I'd say. If we could get that levered up there, it would help. That would probably line everything up. God. Stronger than I bloody think as well. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have a play around and try and get that sitting underneath there, and that should help, but could be a bit of mess. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. Okay, so from using a selection of longer self-tappers in there, I was able to help pull it into place. So we got count of on, raw count, and this one here is a new one that I need to use because we are missing one or two, I think. So I'll have a quick look in there and see. Lining up okay, yeah, and there's no core in the way, like there's no water carrying channel, whatever you call them, pipe, tube in the way. So that should just isn't lining up as well as it used to. But look, we'll say nothing yet. I understand that, you know, there's a bit of messing probably involved, you know, in getting. It's the issue is here, this lip here, it's just sitting a bit low, that's all. So I did get it wedged in under there, right, so that's the shingama, but we're going to need a fair bit of pressure probably. It's actually not too bad. I think we might be able to drag some of it into place. So I use a longer one to go and help pull it into place. It's a little bit thinner than the ones that were fitted. So I'm nearly there. I can try and get it in there, the corner. The beauty of self-tappers is, look, any issues you just use a bigger one, like, but that's just, it is a pity, you know. I'll use that to try and help. Might just pull things up a bit. I don't think it's going to though. I think if I have to file that one, I will, or give it I don't mind that too much. We're nearly there. So we'll try and get one or two of these in. These are nice original ones, I'd say, like they're all the same. This is an original radiator, like the original Rexon. I'll show you the badge there now. Okay, it's not too bad now. Maybe they all were a little bit off, but I'm going to say this much. He definitely did bring that down a bit, which is okay, we'll say not. That kind of stuff happens. Actually, he didn't lose any of these, so he didn't. I thought he did. He didn't. So I'll remove that other new one. So we're down to one here that's just a little bit scoutways, as they say here. A little bit crooked. I don't think I ever had this howling off before anyway, but I don't know. Hopefully it'll just catch it now. And it'll be done. It seems to be doing the trick. I just don't like putting things in at an angle like that, you know, at scoutways. Scoutways, as they say here. At an angle. It comes from the Irish word, scout. So this is the last self-tapper here. Little rubber lad on this actually. If I can take him off, I'll take a little rubber washer. Because he's only going to go taking up treads. And I don't think we're going to have the space here for treads, for a washer. We're going to have to get as much of them treads in there, considering how tight we are for, well, how crooked the whole thing is. So just take off that little rubber washer there. That is bloody crooked. Very crooked. No, maybe it's going below the holder. You nearly want 100% here. Some form of, I don't know, a punch in there and give it a... Actually, speaking of which, we'll see. Give it a punch, just straighten it a little bit first. See, does this... There's fair pressure on it, like I don't need a bend in the bloody punch. So if I take it off again down the road, I will, and just file them holes a little bit longer. There's no bother, we can do that. Round file wouldn't be long doing that. Or unless I want to mark up the ones now that really need it and file them now before I put it on. But this is the last one that has to go in. So, oh, by Jesus, that's strong. It's tight. I just don't like how crooked that is now at all. It does not look great. And it will not straighten up either. Doesn't look great now. Actually, when you're looking at it from the front, I'd say it looks terrible. Right. In fact, I'd say they're all right. That's barely actually even tightening in. So this side here is not great. Give it a tap of the plastic hammer. Right above. Yeah, we probably have to do a bit of filing work, I'd say. So they're okay. They're okay. 1, 2. These definitely need it. Let's see if we can keep the camera on the stand there. See, it's not looking great. It's not too bad further down, but yeah, it's just that isn't. Let's get it to focus here. That isn't what you call ideal now, is it? Oh jeez, it's only when you look at it now here. Why it won't focus? Yeah, it's not great. No, we can't go with that. So I'm going to go and do a little bit of work on that and a bit of filing. It's a pity, but one thing is for sure is it shouldn't really go rattling anyway, but look, we'll do a bit of filing and have a go refitting. So I'm not half the video on the struggle I had to get that cowling on, because I think I'm actually after giving myself a hernia. No word of a lie. But it's on. And I had to do a bit of filing of holes, the slots. And I had to do a bit of filing down below here. This was just too long and I didn't like the pressure that was put on. So you can see it's up at the end of its slot, same as that one. Right, and that one there needed an awful lot of filing. But look, it's on. It's full of water, just plain water, because I have my antifreeze there in that bucket. Because I obviously don't want to go putting that in if it's like shilla, if it's leaking. So I put on a new radiator hose on the top there. That's actually a super major bottom hose. I cut it there to length, and the one that was on was a little bit kinked anyway, like, so I didn't like that. Yeah, we just moved the double E's just in out of the way so they're not hitting the bonnet. But it looks like he was doing a bit of flame throwing with this still on. I suppose the first job you do is take this off, really, like, that's damaged by flames, like, especially here. So it's another day's work in tidying it up, and it's a nice bit of patina if you want to go that way, if you're that way inclined. So get out the flamethrower if you want a bit of patina, burn the paint. But that would have been the first thing I did anyway, was take that off and then take out the core and all of that. But I'm no expert on the matter. It looks like there was something in that hole down there, like self-tapper. Maybe that was just from me attempting to screw one in. But yeah, I think there was just one self-tapper missing. Two. So considering they're nice original ones and they're all the same, you know, that kind of stuff does annoy me. It is an original Rexam radiators. The badge is there. Rexam Radiators, Bridge Street, Wrexham, and there's the number 51785, a telephone. You can ring that all day long. I wouldn't say they're going to answer this. It's probably from a long time ago. So that's it. So far so good on the non-leak side of things, because there definitely was a bit of a leak in this somewhere. What I noticed was it was just kind of, you know, a little bit damp here and there, like especially down there, you know. So yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it there. There's still a little bit of water on it here and there, so we'll just keep an eye on it, probably just from when he was testing it. So yeah, that's what we'll do. And then we might just touch it up a little bit better with the paint, or use it for a while. It's very easy to take off the bonnet and take this off then at any time, then make sure. I was having awful problems with that drain tap before. Serious problems. So it looks like they're after putting some form of a tape on it or something. I just tightened it up, it was hand loose, so yeah. So that's that one soldered, definitely. This one doesn't look like it's very well soldered, is it? In the back maybe, that's fine. So yeah, it's definitely looking good enough. There's a bit of dampness down there. Don't know, is that anything to be worried about? Is it just a place water was sitting? We'll find out anyway. We pressurise it up. So that's it. As I said, I didn't record the struggle of me putting on the cowling, because that took every inch of strength, every inch of Newton meters of torque I have in me, and I don't have that much anymore. But that Definitely one of the most physically demanding jobs I've had to do on this, and it's one of the lightest parts, but yeah, brilliant. So look, that's where we are so far. I suppose the next thing is just to get it up to temperature and all that and see then how things are looking. So it's time to give this a start and a test and see is that radiator going to hold, right? So it hasn't been started in probably 2 weeks now. Freshen up the juice, it's always a good idea. There's a good bit of juice in it, but I always like to freshen it. I think in a sealed can, it just seems to stay a little bit more fresh. So turn on fuel. Okay. It's been left for 3 days and it seems to be dry around the radiator anyway. Started very well, but it's 15 degrees in here today. So we treated it to a new top hose that I made out of a Ferguson Super Major bottom hose. I cut it. And we're just looking here just to see if that fan is all okay. It's not going hitting the shroud, the cowling. We also fitted a new fan belt. And we lined up the dynamo. So it seems to be fairly good there now. You can see the front crankshaft drive there, drive pulley. So I'm going to bring it back to the left, just in line. You see it down there. Just we'll bring it in line and we look up then. It seems to be fairly good. I did have problems before with this drain tap sealing, so it's nice to see that that is dry. So a few things done since this was running. If you have been watching the videos, we fitted this here, which is more correct distributor for this engine. The distributor that was fitted was for the Ferguson 20, the last of the Ferguson 20s. Well, not even the last, the later ones, so the 12 volts. So this is designed more so for this engine, based on the part number and the year being 1956. So I am looking forward to bringing this for a spin now to see if it responds better with revs. And before we changed the fan belt, when it was ticking over, you used to be able to hear the fan belt screeching, whereas now we don't. You can actually hear the fan belt over the engine. So we'll bring it down there, 500 revs per minute. That's a nice low tick over. Our fan belt doesn't look too loose. I like to have them a little bit too loose and too tight, because if it's not charging, you won't be long seeing it. And it's not charging there, that revs anyway, so a little bit more rev, which is charging. About 750, 800 revs seems to be a good little good speed for heating up and all of that. So record rad, so you would expect it to be dry. I do notice in here under a certain temperature it does get a bit of drucht on it, a bit of dew and moisture hanging around the bottom. That's fairly normal, even though it doesn't seem to happen on this radiator on the 20 diesel. It always seemed to happen on this one. So I used to have a leak there as well when I put in a bolt instead of the stud. So it's nice to see that's drying up. We did a bit of work on the fuel tap as well. We had awful problems trying to get that to seal up under there. So engine is heating up nicely. Seems to be fairly dry around the hoses. All good. We changed the hose. We put the hose clamp down a little bit lower. It was there. The pipe begins there, so just wanted to clear the bonnet and all of that. One thing, if you're watching the earlier videos, that didn't make it back to me, because a friend of mine collected this, is the overflow pipe goes down there, in through there, and there's two brackets. That didn't make it back to me. So the next time I'm in town, I'll call into him. Hopefully he has it, because when this heats up, because it's full of air, it's going to blast a load of air through the air and water through there. There's only water in at the moment. My antifreeze is still in the Vocade, it's still in the bucket there. So I want to get that on, because it's meant to be on. So yeah, so a few little jobs done. Seems to be running fairly well. It's not picking up on the temperature yet anyway, but I would like to get up the temperature on the TVO and all of that, obviously. Get the thermostat to open. I was looking for a pipe to go over that just to catch the water that's going to go spilling out of it, because I obviously want to test this. And it's hard to test it when water spills out of that. But look, one of them things, isn't it? I thought she killed us. Oh, Henham Tiki. She's making nice music. I should have told him that if he had a grey paint, to paint a grey, but I can always do that after. I prefer to test it first before I go painting up things. And it is going to be covered with the bonnet. So the weather's improving, so hopefully soon we'll be able to bring it out for a spin.